The 60s brought a pivotal shift in the cultural waves in which the pent-up rage of the youth burst in a fit of political turmoil and skepticism, loosened morals, and sexual freedom. All grown up and entering college, the baby boom population was educated, idealistic, and fed up with society's atrocities. Student protests shouted out against materialism, war, poverty, and racism, awakening a consciousness for human value. During this time, America was crafting a national cultural identity. Johnson was trying to shape it by funding the arts with the Great Society Congress's National Endowments for the Arts and the Humanities. He also listened to the environmentalist cry to preserve the natural environment, and he wrote the Wilderness Act into law. What would you say inspired you to join the Sierra Club?
Well, what got me to join the Sierra Club was reading Rachel Carson's The Silent Spring, because after reading that, I realized we shouldn't be pestering our earth with chemicals.
With the global emergence of counterculture, rebellious youth turned traditions upside down. Distinguishing themselves from straight society, the sons and daughters of middle-class America rebelled against authority, experimented with drugs, and refused to be chained down by society's attempt to define their values. With the rejection of tradition was the decline of church. Liberal Protestants were forced to relinquish their control to the conservative Christians, leading to a cultural divide as the educated grew increasingly secular and the less educated grew more religious. This social and political turmoil of the flower power communal hippies was reflected in the psychedelic tunes of Jimi Hendrix and the folk rock of the Beatles calling for peace. Cultural upheaval took flight in student protests, who could be heard with a contrasting route to the peaceful protests of the civil rights movement, urban riots.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part.
With the invention of the birth control pill in 1960, sexual revolution was afoot, bringing about a new freedom for women and including the tolerance of the gay community, seen in the Madison Society and the Stonewall riots. Johnson was continuing U.S. involvement in Vietnam, an immoral and unwinnable war to the hippies. The anti-war movement started small, beginning with campus teach-ins, snowballing into larger-scale student mobilization seen in the free speech movement at Berkeley, and finally finding strength in the Students for a Democratic Society, the SDF. What inspired you to come out today?
We're seeing so many wrong things happening in the world, and I truly believe it's because we've let the government run loose for too long, and we've put control in the hands of adults who are incapable of handling our world peacefully. I would agree. I think the world is seeing too much violence and we should be spreading peace on earth instead.
But it was not to last, and many criticized the romantic self-indulgence of the flower children. What were thought to be innocent experimentation with drugs turned into fried brains and addiction. The SDS took a sharp turn into becoming a violent terrorist group known as the Weathermen. Rebellion may not have replaced tradition, but it had definitely weakened its grip.